If there's one thing your brain's immune cells, the microglia, have in common with the rest of us, it's that deep down, they'd rather not stick to an intense gym routine. Sure, in their prime, they're basically personal trainers for your neurons, constantly on the move, sweeping up toxic proteins, polishing synapses, and keeping the brain environment sparkling clean. But under the pressure of Alzheimer's, these hardworking cells suddenly look at their mop, sigh, and think, you know what? Forget the treadmill. Forget the gym. Let's just sit here and chill. The reason isn't laziness in the traditional sense, it's fat. Too much fat storage inside them drags them down until they behave like couch potatoes who quit exercising mid-January after promising themselves this would be the year they stayed fit. The funny part is how eerily relatable this biology has become. Microglia are supposed to burn fatty acids for fuel the way someone might snack on a granola bar before spin class. But instead, when plaques and inflammation come around, those fatty acids get locked up in storage, converted into big fat droplets. And that's thanks to an enzyme called DGAT2, which acts like the overeager friend who insists on buying all the snacks in bulk, then stuffs your freezer until you can't find anything useful in there anymore. The microglia try to work, but with their insides cluttered by fat, they give up. Instead of running marathons, they slump into the metaphorical recliner with a remote in hand, watching the brain's problems pile up. But here's where the optimism kicks in. Just because the microglia are chilling now doesn't mean they can't be coaxed back into action. Purdue researchers found that when they inhibited or broke down that overactive enzyme, the fat droplets started to clear. It was like convincing the couch potato to finally put on sneakers again. Suddenly, the microglia slimmed down, regained their energy, and jumped back into their job, devouring plaques and protecting neurons like they had never stopped. The message here is powerful. Even when these cells look too tired or lazy to move, they can be re-energized with the right nudge. That shift is huge for Alzheimer's research. For decades, the focus has been on the plaques themselves, like trying to demolish giant walls with a hammer. But what if the real solution isn't to fight the walls directly, but to get the janitors back in shape so they can chip away at them naturally? It's a more flexible, hopeful approach. Fat metabolism can be changed, enzyme activity can be tweaked, and immune cells can be retrained. That turns a frightening disease into something far more approachable, not an unsolvable curse, but a clutter problem caused by overindulgence, the cellular version of Netflix binges instead of gym sessions. And isn't it reassuring to think about Alzheimer's through such a human lens? Who hasn't sworn they'd hit the gym 3 times a week, only to end up eating chips on the couch by February? Microglia are doing the same thing. They've simply lost their motivation because fat got in the way. But we know that slump isn't permanent. With the right strategies, the lazy cells can get back to work, and the brain can regain its balance. This new perspective also suggests something broader. Maybe neurodegeneration isn't about irreversible destruction, but about imbalance and burnout. Cells that look lazy may not be hopeless. They may just need help managing their workload. That means treatments aren't about rewriting destiny, but about recharging the brain's existing defenses. And if that's the case, then the future of Alzheimer's treatment feels brighter than it has in decades. So yes, microglia sometimes ditch their gym memberships and chill. They store fat instead of burning it, sink into dysfunction, and let plaques pile up like dirty laundry. But thanks to this new research, we know they're not lazy forever. They just need a little push, a little cleanup, and suddenly they're back on their feet, ready to protect neurons again. The story isn't one of permanent collapse. It's one of renewal, a reminder that even brain cells deserve a second chance to get off the couch and get back in shape.